Hi guys, so let's look at this multiply using expanded form one more time, okay? And I want you to go through these problems with me together. So you can need a paper and pencil to write with, okay? Because you're writing what I'm writing. Okay, so let's start with a problem. 5 times 143, okay? Remember, you're writing what I'm writing, so write this down on your paper. We're going to start by breaking the number 143 into its place value in expanded form. So we have our 1 and our 100, so that's worth 100. 4 and our tens is 40. And your 3 and your 1s is worth 30. So now we essentially have 100 plus 40 plus 3. Okay, and all of that I'm going to end up multiplying by 5. Okay, let's write out that multiplication equation over here on the side. So essentially I have 5 times 100 right, plus 5 times 40 plus 5 times 3. Okay, so there's my equation written out, okay, as I'm multiplying it. I'm going to use that to help me with the box model also, because I think that's a good picture. So now that I've gotten it written out, I'm going to do my box model. Draw your rectangle. And then I'm going to have it in 3 parts, one for my 100, one for my 40, and one for my 3. So something like this. 5, you're going to write on the side because you're multiplying 5 times each number. And on the top of each box gets one of your numbers. So put 100, 40, and 3. Now let's multiply. In the first box, I'm multiplying 5 times 100. In the second box, I'm multiplying your 5 times your 40. And in the last box, we're multiplying your 5 times 3. Let's go back and let's multiply. 5 times 100. 5 times 1 is 5. I have 2 zeros, so I have to add your 2 zeros. So 5 times 100 equals 500. Let's go over to 5 times 40. 5 times 4 is 20. You have 1 0, so add your 0. Okay, so far we have 5 times 100 is 500. 5 times 40 is 200. Now let's go and solve the last one, which is 5 times 3 is 15. Now that I found the products for each of my place values, okay, I'm ready to complete my problem. I'm just going to transfer my numbers over underneath my multiplication problems. So 5 times 100 was 500. Again, I'm getting that right from right here for my answers. 5 times 40 was 200. And 5 times 3, we got 15. So now I can add 500 plus 200 plus 15. Again, I like to add up and down, so I'm just going to rewrite it. 500 plus 200 plus 15. I'm going to add my 1s, 5, 1, 7. So altogether, I have 715 as my answer. So that tells me 5 times 143 equals 715, right? Let's do another one together. Make sure you clear your paper. Six times 1,432. Even though our number is bigger, it's the same process. So write this number on your paper. Okay, let's break apart our 1,432 into expanded form. 1 in the thousands is worth 1,000. Plus 4 in the hundreds is 400. Plus 3 tens is 30. Plus 2. So now I have 1,000 plus 400 plus 30 plus 2, right? So I'm taking each one of these numbers, I'm still going to multiply them by 6, okay? So I'm going to have 6 times 1,000 plus 6 times 400 plus 6 times 30 plus 6 times 2, okay? And all of these numbers I got from here, okay, when we put them in expanded form. Now, I can do my area model. I always like that because it's like a visual representation. On my rectangle, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, so I need to have 4 spaces. All right, so each top of each box is our number. So I'm going to have 1,000. My first box. My second box represents the 400. Just place value. The third box is going to represent my tens. And the last box is going to represent my ones, which is just a 2. Each one of those, I still have to go back and multiply times 6. Okay? So let's look at our first box. 6 times 1,000. Multiply 6 times 1,000 first. 6 times 1 is 6. Drawing tool. 6 times 1 is 6. Add my 3 zeros. So that's 6,000. 6 times 4 is 24. I have 2 zeros. Add my 2 zeros. Then let's multiply the tens. Go ahead and multiply the tens to 6 times 30. Okay, so 6 times 3 is 18. And we have 1 0 to save our place value. The very last one I'm going to multiply is my ones. 6 times 2 is 12. So now I have 6,000 plus 2,400 plus 180 plus 12. Go ahead and add those 4 numbers up and see what your total sum is. Okay, let's check our answer. So I have 6,000 and I have 2,400. You notice I'm making sure all my place values are lined up. 180 and I have 12. All right, so let's add in the ones first. 2, 9, 5, So 6 times 1,432 equals 8,592. You guys like to do one more together. Go ahead and get a scratch piece of paper, a new paper, and we'll work on a new problem. What if I have 3 times 1,760? Go ahead and break this number into expanded form. So your thousands plus your hundreds plus your tens plus your ones. Write those numbers in. So the 1 in the thousands is going to equal 1,000. I have 7 in the hundreds, so 700s equals 700. I have 6 in the tens. 6 tens is 60. And I have a 0 in the ones, so that's just 0. Guys got that so far? Now let's take, and we're going to multiply each one of these times 3. Got my plus signs, adding symbols. So now I have 3 times 1,000, 3 times 700, 3 times 60, and 3 times 0. Okay, so go ahead and write that as your equations, writing it out. I'll do the same. 3 times 1,000. Add that. So 3 times 700. We're going to add that. 3 times 60. And we're going to add that to 3 times 0. Once you're done that, draw your box. Do our box model. Go ahead and draw my box. And I have 4 numbers, so I'm going to need 4 spaces. Got a little small there. And top of each box is going to represent each one of your place values that you determined from 1,760. So your first one is going to be for your 1,000. Your second one is going to be for your hundreds. The next one is your tens. And finally, that last box is going to represent your ones. And of course, each one I'm multiplying by 3. So this box model is just a representation and a picture of this equation that we wrote out here, okay? So 3 times 100 plus 3 times 700 plus 3 times 60 plus 3 times 0. The box model is just a picture or representation of this equation. Let's go ahead and let's multiply. First box first. 3 times 1,000. 3 times 1 equals 3. Add my 3 zeros. Let's go to my tens. 3 times 700. 3 times 7 is 21. Add your 2 zeros. Multiply your tens. Go ahead. Okay, let's check our work. 3 times 60. 3 times 6 is 18. And add your 1 0. And 3 times 0 is 0. Any number times 0 equals 0. You guys got that. Now I'm ready to add. all four of my products. 3,000 plus 2,100 plus 180 plus 0. I'm going to write that equation out just so I have it. 3,000 plus 2,100 plus 180 plus 0. Add those numbers up. It always helps me to write them vertically so I can line my place values up. I'm going to add my 0 in. You don't necessarily have to, but I like to for the place value order. And add. We have 5,280. So that tells me 3 times 1,760 equals 5,280 as my final answer. Okay. This video is here for you to refer back to if you need help. Okay. Please go back to the video and watch the lesson again if you need help, and ask your teacher. We are here to help you. The next examples you had 2 of them, maybe 3, but definitely 2 are set up just like this, okay? So it has some color coding for you to help remember like where the numbers go, and I have the box model there for you. All right, use those to help you. Please try your best and ask for help if you need help.